Could a personal coach help me get back on track at school? I'm not sure what scope of issues personal coaches cover, but would they be able to help me get back on track at school? I desperately want to drop out of my university program. However, this isn't really an option available to me at the moment. I keep missing deadlines for assignments, struggle to keep up with studying, and generally lack any motivation to make an effort towards school. Since I can't drop out, I figure the next best thing would be to try to get myself organized and out of this funk. I have ADHD and frequently feel like I need someone to come and babysit me to make sure I don't lie in bed all day. Okay? I need someone to care about the happenings in my life for me because it feels like I sure as fork don't. I also feel unbelievably childish in regards to this matter. I feel like I should be able to just suck it up and get it done. It is also possible that I am burnt out at this point in time. I don't feel like a living person. That is to say that I don't feel like I play an active role in my life, just along for the ride. My expectation or assumption would be that a coach would give me the tools that help me stay organized and improve my work-school life balance regardless of motivation. Help me help myself in becoming a functioning human being instead of a sad sack who lays in bed all day feeling sorry for themselves. As much as I would love to hire a coach to pester me every week, make sure I'm handing in my assignments on time, and make sure that I'm focused on my schoolwork every minute of the day instead of faffing about it, I assume getting a coach to teach me how to achieve these goals independent of their pestering would be much more beneficial for me. Does this sound like something a coach could help me work through? So the answer is absolutely yes. This is something that a coach can help you work through. But this statement is absolutely wrong. My expectation assumption would be that a coach would give me tools to help me stay organized. Let's say I'm this person's coach. So this is like really important to understand about coaching. So a lot of people will come in to coaching and say, I have this goal. Here is my problem. Here is what I need from you. Okay? My problem is that I am unmotivated. And I feel like I'm just existing in life. Okay? So like if you guys have this problem where like you're in a funk and you think that like you just need to get out of the funk and you have no motivation and you think that you need some kind of like organizational help to fix the problem, to overcome your motivation and act regardless of motivation, that's a very dangerous way of thinking, right? So like let's think about what kind of tools could a coach give you. They could give you like a calendar. Ooh, cool. Let's open up a calendar and let's make a timetable. Like let's figure out what are you gonna do. 8 a.m. every day you're gonna wake up. You're gonna like meal prep on Sundays. Like you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. We're gonna organize your life. You're gonna check in with me once a week. And when I check in with you, I'm gonna like hold you accountable because if you didn't do any of those things, like we'll talk about how you didn't do any of those things, bro. Because a week has gone by and you didn't wake up at all and you didn't study at all. That's what people want from coaching, right? They want to go to a coach and they say like, oh, if I go to a coach, like I'm basically outsourcing the effort. They're going to give me some kind of like organizational tip or some kind of tool, some kind of magic tool that with this tool, you don't even have to overcome your motivational problems, right? It's almost like a late night, like, you know, advertisement for like some special thing. With this special magic bullet, you don't even need motivation. You're going to be successful without motivation. All you need is this 5-star planner, right? You need this. We have a very revolutionary patented planning organizational system that has been proven clinically to work. 4 out of 5 dentists agree this is the right way to plan your life, right? It worked for the dentist, so it'll work for you. So people come in and they say like, oh, coaching will help me with this, right? I need someone to keep me accountable. But here's the problem. You're not living life, you're existing, right? You're just existing. You have no motivation, you're in a funk. You also, like, here's the cycle, like, have ADHD. I don't know if that's treated or not, but motivational problems, by the way, are like a big symptom of ADHD, okay? So you've got ADHD, you go to college, you start to fall into a funk. As you fall into a funk, you start to like feel bad about yourself. You start to lose motivation. As you lose motivation, something interesting happens in your brain. Like when you're not motivated to do something, it kind of like calculates like the success likelihood as being low, and it like further dampens your motivation. You fall into this cycle. Like, I'm not motivated, I fell behind, therefore I'm an idiot. The more that your brain thinks you're an idiot, the more its calculation about motivation is going to go downhill. Because your brain is smart, right? So it like thinks about things this way. It says, okay, like, what's the likelihood that I will succeed? If the likelihood that I will succeed is low, I'm not going to bother. Right? Because your brain is pretty smart. It's evolved to be efficient with its resources. That's like, it's how we work, right? We learn how to be efficient with our resources. And if you think that you are not capable of succeeding, then the amount of effort you would need to succeed is going to feel too high, and you won't even bother, and it'll like crap out your motivation. You'll feel burnt out. So can a coach help you with this? Absolutely. But the first thing that you need to understand is that people will come to coaching and they'll be like, give me a solution. And give me a tip. Give me a trick. Give me a life hack. Because this is what our brain has been conditioned to do, right? Because you have like all these YouTube ads and blogs and things like that that are sort of like, oh, like just do this one thing and like you will make $100,000 a day. Like I did it. Look at my car. Look at like this place that I'm filming in that I rented using, like I mortgaged my house to rent out this penthouse apartment so it has a really cool view, and like I'm going to look slick and it's going to be great and I'm going to brag about how much money I made, and all you need to do is give me your money and then you will have the secrets. You'll be able to do it too. You can do it too. I know. I have faith in you. And all you have to do is give me the money. Like you don't have to change anything about yourself. Heaven forbid you have to change yourself. I'm like, all you need is this thing. Like you just need this thing and everything's going to be great. So people come into coaching wanting a magic bullet. But like what the coaches, can they help you? Absolutely. But what they're going to help you with, it has nothing to do with like giving you an organizational plan. You'll get there, by the way, but not at the beginning. Because here's the thing, like what do y'all think this person is going to do if someone gives them an organizational plan? Like, so I can't figure out how to, I think the next best thing would be to get myself organized and out of this funk. Like, this is the problem. You got to get out of the funk, right? I feel like I should be able to just suck it up and get it done. So this is like a sign that you're not being compassionate towards yourself, right? You're blaming yourself for your struggles. As long as like, so now I want you to think about what you're doing here, okay? So like you're trying to do something, and what is the voice in your head telling you? It's telling you that you're an idiot. Like you should be able to suck it up. What's wrong with you, dumbass? Right? Oh, like you're such a child. You're supposed to be an adult. You're in college, but you're acting like a teenager or a 7-year-old. You should be able to do it. So as long as your mind is like mentally beating you up, like it's going to tank your motivation. Do you guys see that? And then what happens is you kind of become a zombie. You're just like, you're not able to play an active role because your mind is telling you don't bother, don't bother. And then you need to help stay organized regardless of motivation. No, man, like what you need is motivation to get organized. I can show up at your house and I can like organize all of your stuff, and I can give you 5 different colored folders for all of your classes. I can set up your Google Calendar for you, and that'll help a little bit. But the key thing is that you have to unlock your motivation, right? So help me help myself becoming a functioning human being instead of a sad sack who lays in bed all day feeling sorry for themselves. How do you think that you are ever going to be successful if this is your problem? If you're a sad sack who lays in bed all day feeling sorry for yourself, that's the first thing that needs to change. So if you look at people who are motivated versus people who are not motivated, like what's the big difference? It's not organization. It's not whatever the dude on the internet is selling you. The big difference is like I don't know, like this sounds really simple to me, but I'm going to say it. So you think about like 10 people, like look at 10 people who are highly, highly motivated and are crushing it at life. And you go ask them, how do you feel about themselves? I can almost guarantee you that not a single one is going to be like, I feel like I'm a waste of space and I'm existing and I'm a sad sack. Right? That's not what they're going to say. That's what needs to change. And coaching can help you with that, right? So here's what a coach is going to do. They're going to model positive self-talk, right? So like the tricky thing is once you learn how to talk to yourself that way, it's like GG. And then people are wondering like, how do I learn self-talk? So like your brain has been conditioned to say negative things about you. And so then that's going to be kind of weird because like the coach is going to be empathic. Therapists do this too, okay? We do it, I think, at least we train to do it very intentionally. But so like, as they start to like express empathy towards you, like your brain is going to be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then over time, when I coach people, what tends to happen is like they'll say like, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that, right? So they learn. Like you as the client will learn what your coach is doing. You'll like learn how to predict it. You'll learn how to say what they're going to say. And then you're going to start changing the way that you talk to yourself. Because here's the thing. If you just think about this for a second, where does self-respect come from? People will sometimes ask the question, how do I learn self-respect? So let's just think about this. Where does a lack of self-respect come from? Are we born with a lack of self-respect? Like, no, of course not. Right? So we learn to respect ourselves through the way that we're treated, and we also learn to disrespect ourselves through the way that we're treated. If we're emotionally abused, that person is going to beat themselves up too. If we're emotionally like loved, then we're going to like learn how to love ourselves. So how do you learn self-respect? I know this is kind of bizarre. You learn it from other people. Literally. Right? So how do you learn self-respect? You get respected by other people and you're like, "Oh, wow, like that's pretty cool. Like I deserve respect. That's neat." And once you learn that from other people, then you can kind of like, change your own thinking. There's even research that supports this. So there's some evidence that, for example, 50% of people with borderline personality disorder will be in remission or no longer meet criteria for a diagnosis if they are in a stable relationship for 2 years. Just think about that for a second, with no treatment, okay? The research is not huge sample sizes. But there does appear to be evidence that like a lot of people with borderline personality disorder can actually like get better in life if they engage in stable relationships for an extended period of time. It's not 1 year, it's not 18 months. So for 2 years, they need a source of someone who's stable. And remember that the number is also 50%, so like that only works for half of people. But I think it illustrates or reinforces this point that even you can have like a personality disorder and being treated in a particular way consistently over time can change the way that your brain works. So how do you learn self-respect? From other people. And if you're struggling with motivation, it's not about getting organized, because your mind is like, oh, like, I don't want to change anything in here. Like, I just need to find some external solution out there. And if I can find that external solution, then like it's easy, like it's done. I don't have to like stop being motivated. I can just do this thing and it'll fix everything. No, it's going to require hard work, and most of that work is going to be internal. Right? Self-growth and putting your life together is not like an external thing. It's an internal thing. Or at least in my opinion, it starts internally. So by all means, work with a coach if that appeals to you. The other thing is like, I think group coaching is really good for this, because in group coaching, when you have low self-esteem and your coach is nice to you, there's going to be a thought in the back of your mind that's going to say to you like, it's their job to be nice to you. You guys get that? So it's completely different when you're in group coaching, because when you earn the respect, and they will treat you with compassion and empathy, right? So we'll train them how to do that. They'll like learn how to be active listeners and like empathic as well as authentic. So we don't want them to be polite. We want to train everyone in group to be authentic and compassionate, not polite. So they're going to be like honest with you, but they're going to temper that honesty with compassion, because honesty without compassion just turns you into an asshole. I don't know if you guys like know anyone who's like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna speak my truth, and like they can't handle it, like because their feelings, like screw their feelings, like I'm gonna be like, truth is the greatest ideal. So in the Indian system, in the yogic system of like moral virtues, non-violence is above truthfulness. So all truthfulness should be subject to non-violence. So you should not be, it's better to be non-violent and lie as opposed to be truthful and hurt someone. Okay? So kind of going back to group, but like the reason that group is cool is like when you earn the respect of those people, like that voice isn't there. That, oh, it's the coach's job to like treat me with respect. They're getting paid to treat me with respect. They're getting paid to like me. That sinister thought is there in the back of their, your mind. And not all coaches like their clients, right? They may even be authentic with you. It may just be like, dude, I don't like you, but I'm going to try to make this work anyway. It's good. I think it's healthy to be honest with clients, even if you dislike them. So we want our coaches to be like authentic and compassionate too. And so coaching, I think, can absolutely help you. But if y'all are kind of stuck in this situation, I think the key thing to remember is that it's about fixing that internal motivation, or fixing that internal sense of shame, or that you're a failure, or that like, and stop chasing external solutions. Because as long as you, like, I don't think a day planner is going to fix this. It may help, right? There may be like things, there's certainly value to those kinds of things. Don't get me wrong. But I think that if you're like a living zombie and you're not motivated, like that's what you need to fix. Like, why are you burnt out? Where did your zest for life go? Right? Maybe you need to mourn a little bit that like it's boring. Maybe you need to change your major. There are all kinds of things that you can do to affect your motivation. I don't know if this has been uploaded to YouTube, but a couple weeks ago we did a goal setting and motivation seminar, and like remember that intent is 1/3 of the equation, right? So working on that intent can be really helpful.